Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching this video today. I wanted to talk about my journey from Christianity because Christianity was a really big part of my life and it really pushed me into a specific direction. So I guess I want to start at how it took my family a while after moving to North Carolina to find the right church. So after we did, I got baptized and all the good things in church, and I actually went into high school and got an abusive boyfriend who was an atheist, so he did not like church and he benched me from going to church. And so that kind of separated a connection, you could say. But I don't think that he really severed the whole connection. I tried going back to church after him and I broke up, and it just wasn't the same for me anymore. It was really different, and even though he was abusive and he didn't want me to go to church at all, even though I wanted to, he did open my eyes to the possibility that church wasn't it for me. But so after we broke up, we actually got a new pastor at my church with daughters my age, and so one of them fit in really well with my friend group that I already had there, which was a really toxic entire group. And so I don't know, we all became really, really close friends, and then the whole thing kind of fell apart really, really badly. And so I was a sophomore in high school at this point, and I started receiving text messages one day randomly telling me to kill myself and that I needed to go to hell, and it was the pastor's daughter, and she had rallied some girls from her high school that I didn't even know to message me these things. Like, I was getting messages from a bunch of different numbers, and so it was really overwhelming, so I had to go home. And so we told the pastor and we talked to the church and the youth minister and everything, and they did not care. They did nothing. And so at that point, my mom was really angry, and so was I. So we left the church. We became, dissed our membership and everything, and we left. And that was just really unnecessary. And that doesn't really have anything to do with Christianity, but that's really my experience with the whole church thing. And so it's just like a toxic environment. And I did like a lot of my friends there, but it was all really toxic, and this is what we do, this is how things are, you can't question it, like, this is just it. And so I didn't really like that. I actually started to drift when my Nana passed when I was 9. I was really angry at God, and I couldn't understand why he would take my Nana from me, because she was my comfort zone and she was my safety net. And so I was really mad and heartbroken, and that kind of rippled on for years, many years actually. Like, after we left the church and everything, I started to feel a little more connected to God and Christianity, and I was reading my Bible and everything, and I tried really hard. And this was after I had gotten into drugs and everything, and I had a friend who was sobering up and found God, and so I wanted to do the same. And I stuck on it for maybe a week, and it just didn't sit right with me anymore. I didn't feel like this was the path for me. Something felt wrong. Like, there weren't enough answers in there for me, so I stopped. And actually, I grew up when I was really little, making potions and stuff with dirt and grass and really cool things. And actually, when I was 12 years old, I did my first witchcraft spell. And I got really into magic when I was 12, 13 years old, and then I stopped it. And so after I went through that phase of finding God again, I stopped reading the Bible, and I started researching on Pinterest and on Google and other websites and stuff about crystals and witchcraft and the actual history and lore behind it, not what is deemed evil and unreal nowadays. And so over 4 years now, I've done a lot of research on paganism and Hinduism, Buddhism, and a lot of other cultures and religions and things, and I personally connect best with paganism and Wiccan from like Celtic and Norse history and lore, but I have this foundational belief that behind every religion, behind all of it, behind all the crap and the lies and the expectations and the rules, underneath it all, there's truth, there's love, and there's oneness. And I do feel like mainly with Christianity, it can be used as mind control, and that there are a lot of people who will devote themselves, like, without doing research from the time they're born, their whole life, have no other perception, no other thoughts or opinions on anything other than this is fact, this is it, this is how it is. And now having faith is a beautiful thing, and I love faith, and if you have faith in something, hold on to that, like, don't let go of it. I really do encourage though, researching a lot of other different opinions, perceptions, and thought processes. They are worthy for us to take under consideration. And honestly, I've met a lot of people who have had really toxic childhoods because of Christianity, and much worse than mine. I mean, mine was just a girl who was really insecure and bullied me. But there are people who, like, stayed in Catholic churches and were beaten or were really strict, and horrible things happened to them. And the thing is that we need to realize that Christianity is not the first religion. It's not the oldest. It's not fact. It's not, no religion is fact. All of these things are like stories to help us cope and understand life. And so we have to take them, all of them at once, and understand them the way we can, and use that to better ourselves, better our knowledge, open ourselves to love, and heal ourselves. Now, we can use religion and faith and spirituality as tools to move forward and grow in our life, or we can choose to conform to one small aspect of human consciousness, which is Christianity, and ignore everything else. There are a lot of people who do the same thing with science. They conform their minds and their consciousness to just this little part. This is it. This is everything. If you have a question that is outside of the scope of this, it's not real, it's not true, because this doesn't state it so. Even though this is such a small thing, and the rest of human consciousness, the rest of outside of human consciousness is so much bigger than that. I mean, we do not have enough cones in our brain to be able to perceive all of the colors. There is a spectrum. There's a spectrum of sound and light that we cannot perceive. This is not it. So when we conform ourselves to this itty little box of religion or science or anything, you're limiting yourself. You're putting blockages up. You're putting walls up. And we have to do our research. And that doesn't just mean doing research on your phone or on your laptop or reading books. That means doing inner soul research. What are you doing to know yourself? What are you doing to know your mind, know your thoughts, know your emotions and feelings, know your physical body? Are you taking time to do intuitive eating or journaling? Are you meditating? Are you doing yoga? Are you eating healthy? Do you even know yourself? Now, these are foundations to my personal healing. I have to know myself to know what's going on with me so I can move forward. And like, religion and spirituality, they're tools for us to move forward. So if we don't look within ourselves and we just look to these external tools, then we are still limiting ourselves. It is putting separation in our field, and we don't want that. We don't want that separation. It's an illusion. We need to use both external and internal tools to align ourselves with our true nature and move forward in life. I'm not saying that religion is bad. I don't believe religion is bad. I believe that people can be in such a tunnel vision that they forget that there's more out there, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And yeah, it's a little scary thinking about how much we can't see that's going on around us, that all of this stuff right now, this isn't just it. There are more frequencies and vibrations that are right here in front of us that we can't see or understand. And that's okay. So we use these stories from the past to help us understand what's happening now and understand what is the mystery of the future. Life is pretty great and it's really overwhelming, but use these tools wisely with non-attachment and with a rounded perspective. Don't limit yourself to tunnel vision. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve more. You can dive into different things that you feel called to. Like, if you feel called to Hinduism, follow that. Research that. I was really into Hinduism for a long time, and I'm still pretty far into Hinduism. I love the culture and the message and the text behind it. It's beautiful. A lot of religions are. And it's honestly so amazing to me to research all of these different religions and literally see how these patterns, these stories, they're the same. They really are. If you really look at them, the Great Flood is in almost every culture. It's not just this one thing. This one book is fact. It's truth hidden under everything we see. That is a mind opener. That is a heart opener. I love it. So thank you guys for joining me today in this video. I hope it helped. Drop any comments or questions below and follow my Instagram at Rising Moon Apothecary. I love you all.